What's up guys, it's Clump, and today I'm going to be starting a new series where I go over pro tips, breakdowns, and guides on how to become a better Fortnite mobile player. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to find the perfect HUD, sensitivity, and settings for you, since every player is unique. Now I have some insane stuff planned for this series, and even if you're already considered a top tier player, you can learn a lot. So make sure you're subbed, have noties on, and drop a like on this video, and let's get right into it. Now your HUD and settings are the most important factor of what makes a good player good and a bad player bad. Another good thing to note is that your HUD and settings should be completely based on your ability to out-aim your opponents. Now I already made a full guide on aiming and I'll link that below, but this is different than that. This is how to calibrate the perfect sensitivity and create the perfect HUD for you to become a better player. Now if you already have a HUD that you believe is working for you, you can go ahead and skip to the part on how to generate the perfect sensitivity. I'll leave the timestamp now. But if you're considering changing your HUD or just getting a new HUD altogether, continue watching. Now at this point, if not already, you need to switch to a claw. A claw allows you to perform more tasks quickly compared to something like 2 or 3 fingers. Now, you should most likely switch to a 4 or 6 finger claw. Since 3 fingers, all you're doing is moving some of the actions away from the right or left thumb, and 5 finger claws are often not as comfortable as 6 fingers, since one hand is stretched and the other is not. At that point, you might as well switch to a 6 finger claw. Now, onto the HUD. There's either 2 options you can choose, to make your own HUD, or to copy someone else's HUD. Either way, you should know what finger is in charge of what task. Most commonly, in both 4 and 6 finger claws, the right thumb is responsible for looking around and aiming. The left thumb is responsible for moving the joystick. The left index finger is responsible for switching between items, and for this you can possibly use the singular item switches instead of the long bar. Also, the left index finger is used for some actions. Lastly, the right index finger is in charge of most primary actions, such as aiming, crouching, and building. The advantage of 6 fingers is that these primary actions on both index fingers can be moved up to the middle fingers, such as firing and jumping. The amount of work done by one finger is decreased, allowing you to do things quicker. Now you just need to get experimenting with your own HUD, and if that layout for your fingers doesn't make sense to you, you can create your own. But if you would like to use my 4 or 6 finger HUD, I'll link both those in the description. Now it will be hard once you switch to a new claw, and it will be intimidating if you aren't as good as you were before. You may also misclick and not feel comfortable, but some drills you can do to fix this are simply running up while placing stairs, switching between build and combat mode every time. Also, a more advanced technique of this is jumping, running, and placing floors while switching in between combat and build mode. This will really help you get down the muscle memory. After that, I would just recommend going into some playground and running some free-for-alls, getting down combat. Now after you have your HUD, you can work on your sensitivity, which is really the only setting which matters. Do not copy my sensitivity. Every sensitivity is unique to each person, and I'll be showing you how to find your own. So to find your touch sensitivity, which is your main sensitivity, especially used for hip firing and building, what you should do is go into creative and set up some sentry turrets. You will use these as target practice to see whether or not you have to raise or lower your sensitivity. Once you set up the turrets however you would like, start the game and aim your crosshair to the right or left of the target. If you find yourself overshooting the target like I'm showing you here, then go into your settings and lower your touch sensitivity one at a time. If you find yourself undershooting your targets, then raise it by one at a time. Now you want to continue to raise or lower your sensitivity one at a time until you can consistently hit headshots on these targets. After that, do the same thing for your vertical sensitivity, throwing up vertical flick shots instead of horizontal. So now that you have your touch and vertical sensitivity, you need to move on to your touch targeting, otherwise known as your ADS. This is mainly used for when you're aiming down your ARs or SMGs, but mainly ARs. To do this, you need to enter into this aim map, which I will leave the code to in the description and comments below. This map has 2 important sections, one for determining your ADS sensitivity and one for scope sensitivity, which I will cover after you get your ADS. Now simply line up to these boxes and begin taking shots with your AR. If you consistently find yourself overshooting the boxes or undershooting like I will show you, you have to either raise or lower your touch targeting sensitivity by 1. Now you want to continue raising and lowering your sensitivity until you can consistently hit the boxes at a rapid speed as shown here. You don't want to go too slow because otherwise you'll hit it every time and it won't matter anyways what sensitivity you have. Lastly, we have your scope sensitivity, which the next section of the course is for. Once again, if you find yourself overshooting or undershooting the targets, either raise or lower your sensitivity by one at a time. Then continue doing this until you can consistently hit the targets at a rapid speed. That's basically it on how to find all the sensitivities you need. As I said, I'll be leaving my 4 and 6mm HUD videos and the aiming course code in the description and comments below. This is just the first video of many of this series, as the most important thing to becoming a better player is to improve your HUD and sensitivity. Once you have that, you can begin working on other things. If you haven't already seen my aim video, after creating your HUD and settings, go work on that. I'm going to be continuing to bring out great content, so make sure you're subbed, turned on noties, and drop a like on this video if you've made it this far. Thanks, and see you later.